Yeah. So maybe we'll get started. Our main topic today is going to be the best phone and tablet apps by myself, Tom Kreuzer. If you're connected in, which because this meeting we're not having it in person, so everyone is connected in. If you'd please mute your audio and you can turn off your video until the question and answer at the end of the presentation. You'll probably get better performance than uh, we aren't going to see you anyway. Use the chat to ask a question or comment during the presentation. I won't look at those until the end, but you can put it out there and take a look. The handout, as I just mentioned, is out on the PC Club website. If you go to the meetings, past meetings, and files, Jim will also add it to the chat for this Teams meeting in a few minutes to give people time to log in. Because when he adds it to the chat, if you currently are connected, you won't see it if you log in later. So that's why we usually wait a little bit. The agenda will cover the club status and do some quick information about the club, and then we'll get to our main topic. As I showed the pictures a little bit there, we did have our last Wednesday, we had our annual PCC dinner, summer celebration, and that was held at the Green Mill. I think we had 35 or 36 people. I want to thank Paula for all her work in setting it up, and Linda for getting the prizes, and Jim and the rest of the board for putting this together. Also, I just showed you some of the photos there are out on the website and the past meetings page. And thanks to Al Seaver and John Stopko for the wonderful photos there. This is just a little collage I put together of a few of the photos there. So we had a beautiful day, not too hot, not too cold, and food was good. Just nice to see everybody there. Okay, future meetings. Next question and answer, online question and answer meeting is August 6th, Tuesday, August 6th. Next MACSIG meeting is Friday, August 16th. And our next general meeting will be Wednesday, August 21st. And the main topic for that will be Windows. I'll talk about Windows 10, Windows 11, and Windows 12. So Windows 10 is expiring next year. Windows 11 is the current version, which hopefully most of you have. And Windows 12 is actually coming out very soon this year. Our officers, Jim is our president, Linda is our vice president, Paul is our membership secretary, Paula is our treasurer, Chuck is our recording secretary, Mike leads the MACSIG, Andrew is our communication coordinator, I'm a director at large, and we couldn't do it without nice volunteers and stuff like that. I forgot to make, I actually did make a note to myself to try and get a picture of everyone who attended last Wednesday, but I forgot. Busy talking with everybody, and it was such a nice day. We'll have to remember and get a picture next year of the whole group that came. Members old and new, you can pay your dues to Paul Ebert. He sends out a reminder when your membership is expiring. And so also a reminder, if you are changing your email, make sure and notify us because that's how we keep in touch and send out notices. If you do have suggestions for topics, you can email your ideas or topics. You can talk to any of the board members. We're always looking for people to volunteer to present on hardware or software, maybe something that you use at work or at home, or if you don't want to present, we do have a monthly newsletter, and we're always looking for people, or you can write a short, meaning a sentence or two, or a long article for the newsletter. Excuse me. Out on our website, we do have past meetings, slides and handouts, and recordings. So if you miss a meeting or want to revisit a meeting, go out there and look in the past meeting section. We have a deals section. We have eBytes newsletter, and the link to it is sent in all the notices that we do. Okay, let's get to our main topic today, which is best phone and tablet apps by myself, Tom Kreuzer. Before we start talking about the apps, we'll talk about the handout itself. The handout is an Excel spreadsheet that is sorted by category and app and has a few columns there. So the category, I broke it down into different categories ranging from cooking to weather. The app is the app name. The app names can vary a little bit from the Apple Store or the Android Google Play Store. So when you're typing in or searching for an app, make sure you get the right one because there's millions of apps out there. There's a lot of apps with similar names, so you want to make sure you get the right one if you're going to download it or install it. The column for cost, most of these apps that we talk about are free, or almost all of them have a free version, and they may have a subscription version or a small fee to pay for the app. So try and list that so that you know ahead of time. OS is for the operating system. Some of the apps are just for the Android operating system. Some are just for the Apple iOS operating system, or most of them are for both. So this will tell you which are for which. The key column can contain a number of letters in there, depending on which these apps fit into, where I got them or who recommended them. So this lists who recommended the app, and if there's an A in the column, that means the PC Magazine 100 Best Android Apps is what recommended it. B is for PC Magazine's Best iPhone Apps. C is Tom's Guide. That's not my personal guide. Tom's Guide, if you're not familiar, is a well-respected website for making recommendations, and he had recommendations for the 10 iPhone apps that everyone should have. D is from the Google Play Store, where I just took the top 50 downloaded Android apps, so the most popular apps. I listed those. T are ones that I personally use myself. I have Android smartphone and I have an Apple iPad tablet, so I've got a mix of both, and so you'll see different things there. M is something that was recommended by a 3M PC Club member. So on the annual survey, we ask people if there's any special apps that they use, and this is where we get some of that. Also, there's a column out there, it's called New, and this is if the app is new to this list since the February 2023 is when I last did this presentation. So in the last couple of years, if the app is new on the list, it'll show up there. Okay, where to search and download the apps? Well, if you have an Apple device, you're usually going out to the Apple Store. The Apple Store has 2 million apps out there, and you want to search and download from there. If you have an Android device, you want to go out to the Google Play Store. That has 3 million apps out there, and let me just do this. So click on this, and you can go to it from a browser on a PC. You can go to it from the app on your Android phone. You can go to it from multiple different places. But you can search for apps here. And the nice thing about the Google Play is I can go out here, I can search for apps, I can look at videos of what the app does, I can look at reviews, and then I can click and I can install it on any of my devices, all from my laptop here or my desktop. And so the screen is a little bigger. It can be a little easier for searching for things here. Let's go back here. You also can download apps or install apps from other sources. By default, Apple blocks that, which is a good thing. For most people, you should never be installing an app except if it came from the Apple Store. And for Android, you should never be installing an app unless it came from the Google Play Store. So be careful if you ever do get a link or are on a website and it says click here to install an app. It may be a virus or a hacker trying to maliciously put some stuff on your machine. Okay, I just went out to the Google Play Store, and you can go out there and you can search for things. And I mentioned before, when you type in the name and are searching for an app, if you're looking for one of them from the list, be sure and use all the right names and letters and spacing and that, because with 2 to 3 million apps out there, it's easy to accidentally find apps that have a name that's very similar there. When you do find an entry out there, we'll cover what you should look for quickly here. First thing that you can look for when you search, in this case I was looking for our very first app, which is CookPad. When you find an app out there, there's lots of good information that you should check about this app. And one of the things here is the review and the score. So this app has been reviewed by 308,000 people, and it's got an average of 4.6 out of 5 stars. So you want an app that gets a good review and has been reviewed by a number of people. Also, you want it to have been installed by a number of people. This has been installed by 10 million plus people. If there's an app that's only been installed by 100 people, never, never, never download an app that doesn't have at least 100,000 or 1 million people using the app, because if it's a popular app and if it's a well-designed and well-created app, you're going to have lots of people that love it and have installed it. And this is the button to install. Usually there's a video showing what the app can do, or screenshots showing you what the app looks like, so you can get an idea before you download it. It'll list similar apps out there. This is more information as you scroll down about the app. There's an about, that'll have some more details there, which is good. Also, you can see when it was last updated. Now, this says that this app was last updated February 10th, 2023. Well, that's because I haven't updated my slides on here from the last time I gave this presentation. So if you looked out there for this particular app, you'd see that it probably was recently updated within the last month or so. But if by chance you're looking up an app and it hasn't been updated in a year or two, that should be a warning sign to you that it's no longer being updated by the authors or the creators of the app. You want apps that are currently getting updated. This will also get you similar apps by clicking here. This shows you the ratings, so you can see how many people rated it 1 star, and then the comments down below there. Okay, just one more thing. Before you install new apps, it's usually good to maybe delete some of your old apps that you're not using on your phone or tablet before adding new ones. So frequently we'll add things on our devices and then not use it. So before you start adding new stuff, go through and maybe do a little house cleaning and clean it up. And now some of the operating systems will make suggestions saying, oh, you haven't used this in 3 months or 6 months. Maybe you want to get rid of it. But it's just good to look at your screen and look at what you have installed and uh, delete or uninstall, remove items or apps that you're no longer using. Also, I make a little comment here. If you aren't going to be using an app that much, consider using a browser or a website to go out to that service instead of the app, uh, because that can save you having to download an app and do stuff. But sometimes if the app may have more additional services and features that the website may not have. Okay, format of the meeting. I'm not going to go through all 300 apps. There's roughly 300 apps, so we can't do that in the time that we have. Hold your question and comments till the end. And I said, unless there's a quick one, but because we aren't in person, we'll hold them all till the end. Let's take a look at the list. So let me do this. I'm going to bring up the spreadsheet here if I can navigate over. Okay, so this is the list. There's our categories, our app, our cost, our operating system, and the key. So lots of different ones. Take a look. And use the print out this spreadsheet. I recommend everyone print out the spreadsheet. And when you come to a point where you're looking for an app, take a look on here and see if there's something that piques your interest that you can download and try there. So it's a good resource to have to look for what apps and that are out there. Okay, first thing we'll talk about, and you'll see there's an additional column out here. Well, this is the column that I'm using for my presentation today. So this is just a note to me to talk a little bit about the app and show a little bit there. So the first one we'll talk about is tip and split. And before we do that, let me go back to Google Play here. So if I go out here, and I search. So let's say I'm searching for tip and split. Okay, so these are the results from tip and split there. And let's just open that up. You can see the different numbers that we talked about that you want to look at. 4.3, over 1 million downloads. Here's some of the screenshots. I like this particular app because if I'm out dining, it's easy to put in the amount. It's easy to put in the percent. And if there's multiple people, easy to figure out how much everybody owes then. So it's easy to do there. The nice thing about this is certainly I could have used the calculator in my phone or that, but it'd take me more time and be more cumbersome. This is a very good use of an app there. Also, this app, in addition to just doing the calculations for you, if you're in a foreign country or you just don't know what to tip at the airport or at the hotel, this has tipping guidelines and all kinds of other information to help you figure things out. So kind of a nice little app, nice simple app there. Let's go back here. Okay, next one I'll talk about here is in the creativity, Adobe Lightroom. So this is a photo editing app by Adobe. It's an expensive app, $9.99 per month, but with this, you get the Adobe capabilities of editing and artificial intelligence and generation and things like that for $9.99 a month. And you also get an additional 1 terabyte of online photo storage. So if you aren't currently storing your photos out on the internet or sharing them on the internet, this is an option that I think Jim Beardsley has talked about before, and kind of is a highly recommended and highly used app for photo editing and organization there. Okay, next one we'll talk about here, and also under the creativity, I've talked about this photo app before. This is one that I use. It's not as sophisticated as Lightroom, but it is free. It's called Google Photos. You can view, edit, and back up your photos, and it's recommended by PC Magazine and myself there. Another one from Google, also a photo app. It's called Photo Scan, Google Photo Scan. This is an app that if you have, let's say you're somewhere and somebody has a photo, printed hard copy photo, and you want to digitize it, you can use the camera on your phone, and it'll have you move the camera around such that let's say the picture is in a glass frame, and normally you'd get glare from the glass. Well, this, by moving the camera around at different angles, it eliminates the glare, stitches all the different photos together, crops the image, and gives you a digital image of that. So it's a real nice app for capturing digital of either a larger format picture or a picture on the wall or a picture from a scrapbook or things like that. It'll work for a lot of different things. Okay, another one here. This is a new one. You can see the X here is indicating that it's a new one. This is from a site, the genealogy site, MyHeritage. And this is similar to what we just talked about, the photo scan, except this is geared for scrapbooks. And so it'll have you take a picture with your phone of a scrapbook page, and that page may contain, let's say, 3 photographs or 4 photographs on it. It will crop each of those photos in and create its own digital image there. So it can be a real nice tool if you're taking a old scrapbook and trying to digitize it and get the photos there. Okay. Okay, next one we'll talk about is Khan Academy. And I've talked about this before on YouTube, but they also have an app. And the app itself gives you access to all their classes for free. There's literally thousands and thousands of classes ranging from preschool type classes to advanced PhD type classes. So if you're interested in learning or broadening your horizon, the Khan Academy classes are just the best thing in the world there. Along those same lines, also in the education category that I highly recommend is TED. TED by TED. You may have heard of the TED conference, the Tech Talks. And so there's all kinds of talks on all kinds of topics. And again, these are free. You can pull them up if you're in the doctor's waiting room, waiting to see your doctor, and you can broaden your horizon by learning maybe about AI or cryptocurrency or anything topic that you're interested in. Okay, now we get into the entertainment. This is one that is a new one and one that I use. I do like to watch golf. And if you're familiar with golf, there's the Saudi government, not the Saudi government, the Saudi princes created a golf league called LIV, L-I-V, and it's broadcast on Channel 23, the CW. Well, they have their first rounds of the tournament, of their golf tournaments. The only way to watch it is to have the app. And so you can download the app for free and you can watch it for free and you can watch an individual person. You can monitor a hole. You can monitor the whole thing. You can go back at any time. Excuse me, all kinds of options out there for watching it. And this is just an example of some of the hundreds and hundreds of streaming services. A lot of them are free or low cost that you can install on your iPad or on your phone there. Next one I mention here is DirecTV. And we've talked before about streaming TV, replacing Comcast or Xfinity there. And this is an option that I've used. The price continues to go up, so I'm actually looking to maybe change, maybe to a YouTube TV or one of the other options out there. But streaming TV is being used by the majority of people in the United States. They are not Xfinity customers. People have cut the cord from cable and moved to streaming services. Okay, another one in the entertainment is Pocket Cast. It's for podcasts. And this one, excuse me, in the past, I was using Google Podcast because I liked its features for downloading and keeping track of my podcasts on multiple devices and things like that. But Google stopped making updates to their app and shut down the app. So in this case, I had to make a change, and I ended up going to Pocket Cast. Mentions here $3.99, but there is a free version, and that's what I use for my podcast. Okay, let's go down here. Also in the entertainment, I do watch probably too much TV, but when I want to check what's on TV and what are is it a rerun or not a rerun or things like that, I go to the old staple TV guide. And it's got some nice features. You can just set up your favorite channels. You can have it tell you when there's new shows. So there's some nice things that it has in there, and I like using that. YouTube videos, if you've got an iPad or do enjoy videos, either videos I upload and use it for my family's videos and stuff like that, but also you can watch everything under the sun. Okay, let's get down here into the finance. So if you have a bank or if your investments, I highly recommend that you download that app. That will usually give you more features and functions than going to the website. An example would be like depositing checks remotely. Can't do that through the browser or that usually. You usually do have to install the app and use that. And then you can also set notifications and alerts if you have credit cards for when charges are done, and just to protect yourself security-wise and from someone hacking. You do want to monitor your account. Okay, the next one here, Google Wallet. In the past, my phones did not support a function called NFC, PCC for near field communication, which is a broadcast mechanism that's used for your phone to talk to credit card readers and that. Well, my new phone supports it, so I now set that up in Google Wallet for my credit card, so I don't have to take out a credit card or swipe a credit card there. I can just take out my phone, select the card that I want, and pay that way. So it's kind of nice. Also, if you go to, let's say, a Twins game or a Vikings game, Google Wallet can store your tickets, your electronic tickets that you have or passes that you use to get into various places. Oh, 1 second here. Sorry about that. A wallet is very handy. Again, I use Google Wallet. If you happen to have an iPhone, then you'd be using probably the Apple Wallet. Okay, another financial thing that I use is the Square Register. It comes with a little device that I can, at my garage sale that I do every year, I can take credit cards, swipe credit cards, and I can do that because of this device that plugs into my phone, and I can swipe a credit card. So that makes it nice. Okay, let's go here. Health and fitness. There's all kinds of apps for that. Fitbit is one of the most popular there. It also works without Fitbit device, so you don't need to have a Fitbit watch or anything even. It can attempt to count your steps and your activity and things like that just from the motion of the phone and things like that. So that's a nice little app there. Eye health blood pressure device. So I had bought a blood pressure device a few years ago, and it has a Bluetooth connection to an app, and that app also stores the readings. So when I take my blood pressure and that, it's storing those readings. When I go in for an annual visit with my doctor, I can show my doctor different readings there and stuff like that. So it's a nice little device, and I believe the blood pressure device that I had was $29 or something like that. That's where you get all these smart devices that can have their own apps, can interface, can store information, so it can make it real nice there. Okay, next one here. This is a favorite of mine called Map My Run. It's also called Map My Walk and Map My Bike, but it's all the same app. It's an app that you install on your phone, and whenever you do an activity, you can turn it on and you can turn it off, and it'll use GPS to get your exact coordinates and your map that you did, tell you how fast you're going and what elevations you were at, and all kinds of interesting information. And it stores that information so that you can, if it's a route that you bike or walk repeatedly, you can check and see in the past, am I faster, am I slower, what's going on there. So kind of a nice little deal, and it's all free. This WebMD, you can become your own doctor there. So it's used to diagnose different things. Be careful using any of this, and certainly validate it with your own doctor, but you can look things up and a variety of medical information there. Okay. Okay, next one in the news category. Recently, my delivery of the St. Paul paper was getting so erratic, and sometimes I'd get it wet, sometimes it wouldn't get delivered. I was just kind of fed up, and they kept charging more, so I did go to the e-edition, so I no longer get a paper copy. I have the e-edition. I read it on my iPad, and it works out pretty good. The layouts and features and functions is pretty good, and that's something I guess I like. Okay, in the productivity category, one that I recommend is Adobe Scan. It's a PDF scanner. You can create and share PDFs using your camera. So if I'm reading a magazine or a hard copy of some sort and I want to share it with somebody, or even if I just want to get digitally, I want to get the words and sentences and the information to cut out a little bit there, I'll use this. So it takes pictures of the pages, puts them in a PDF file. I can copy the stuff out of the PDF file, or I can share it with somebody else by sending a link and a text message or an email. And it's all free. It's from Adobe. It's a nice little package. Productivity, I happen to use Gmail, email. If you're not familiar, whether you have an iPhone or an Android, there are multiple email packages that you can use. You don't have to use the one that is the default for your email on that device that you're using. So I use Gmail on my iPad, and therefore, when I am on my Android devices, I use it there, and on my laptop and my desktop, I'm using the same thing. So that's can be a good thing, but a lot of people just assume that they have to use the calendar or the contacts or the email that came with their device. You don't have to use that at all. You can, if you prefer another app, or especially if you're using other devices, switch to one of these others and you'll make your life a lot easier there. Okay, productivity. I also highly recommend Microsoft OneNote. This is for doing lists and to-do lists, note takers, putting in links, sharing stuff like that. This is the full version of Microsoft OneNote. It's free on all devices, and it's great for collecting information like that. So it's not a word processor, and I've talked about it before. It's uh, it's a very nice tool there. Okay, uh, in the search category, I have to mute my Alexa here while I say Alexa. Amazon Alexa for managing your devices. So you can put that on your iPad or on your phone, and it acts like an Alexa device where I can drop in on cameras that I have. I can also ask any questions and do anything. So lots of things. We talked about that before. Couple of new ones here in the search category. Chat GPT. This is OpenAI's AI assistant, and Google Gemini, which is Google's assistant using Chat GPT in the background. Supercharge your creativity. They're brand new this year, and if you haven't used them or haven't used an AI assistant, check them out. And see what they've got and whether you like it. This I've talked about before, the Minnesota State Fair app. With the State Fair coming up in about a month there, it's a great app where you can get your guide on what to do, what to see, the map of where the food is. So if you're looking for that special food, it'll show you where it is. You can do all kinds of stuff with the app, so it's kind of nice. And this is an example of an app that I load just before the Minnesota State Fair. I use it when I go to the Minnesota State Fair. I usually go twice. And then after the fair is over, I remove it from my device because I no longer need it. So consider your apps, when you use it, how you use it. If you go on vacation and just use it when you're on vacation, load it up, get rid of it when you aren't. Okay, another one in the security category is Bitwarden as a password manager. This is a password manager that I recommend, and PC Magazine and a number of places recommend to store your passwords. And also it will allow you to store, we've talked about the pass keys. Um, are a new form where you don't have to use passwords. These keys are stored and used, so it'll let you do that also. Shopping, if you frequent a store or a dining spot or anything like that, almost every place has its own app and rewards program, and I highly recommend that you download that. I reference this one. This is a new place within the last year and a half near me, Centro, and Centro. The unusual thing about it is the waiters and wait staff don't come to your table. You're expected to use your smartphone to place your order, to pay for it, and then they deliver it to your table. So if you don't have a phone, they do have one up at the cash register to kind of help you, but it's kind of a cashless dining option there, and it uses the technology. This is the State Farm Drive Safe and Save. Uh, and this is an app that you put on your phone and a device that you put in your car. What it does is it monitors your driving. It will score you on how you make left turns, right turns, how you brake, are you speeding. It keeps track of all that information based on your GPS coordinates and other things there. Based on that, State Farm, if you score good, will give you a discount on your automobile insurance. And people go, well, I don't want my company, I don't want any company knowing what I'm doing there. And I guess I'm the opposite because I don't have a problem with State Farm knowing if they're going to give me a discount. And as an example, my automobile insurance for 6 months is I think it just went over $200. Before it was like 189. Now it's $203 for 6 months. And I say I'm willing to let it do that. Plus, it's a case of I do drive safely, so I get rewarded. So I'll take the reward anytime there. Okay, let's also look in here. Uh, Here in the shopping, if you haven't heard of Temu, you must have been living in a cave. But Temu is a new shopping competitor to like Amazon. It's China. It's China-based, and it doesn't have overnight delivery, but it has prices that you'll find unbelievable there. So their slogan is "Shop like a billionaire" because not a millionaire, a billionaire, because you can get things so cheap there. Walgreens, I like the Walgreens app. I have my prescriptions there. I can manage my prescriptions. I can get rewards. So nice little place there. Facebook, a lot of people on Facebook. This is an app that you need. Same for Instagram. You want the app there. TikTok it hasn't been banned yet. I would be very surprised if they do attempt to do that. But again, like Instagram, great source of entertainment and social there. So that's always there. I mentioned here Wellzesta. My father is in a senior living facility. They just added this app. This app lets him check online the activities that are going on, the menus, the food menus, and the events that are going on. So it's instead of going to a bulletin board or printed hard copy, they still do have some of that, but you can now go online here and you can set up alerts and things like that. So it's kind of nice there. Google Earth lets you navigate around and look if you're going to a new place or looking for parking lots or things like that. You can find things that way. Canon print service. A lot of people that I talk to will think that automatically they should be able to print from their phone to their Wi-Fi printer. They don't realize that in some cases you have to install apps like this Canon print service on your phone or on your iPad. Once that's installed and connected to your Wi-Fi printer, then you can print from these various devices, whether I'm looking at emails or I'm looking at a web page and I want to print something out, I can use that. Chrome browser, that's out there. Microsoft Edge, a lot of people don't realize that the Microsoft Edge browser is available on all platforms, all operating systems. So you can use the Microsoft Edge browser on an iPhone or on an iPad. And with that, if you're sharing bookmarks and you're sharing other settings, it'll move from as you move from device to device or from your Windows device and or a laptop to your iPhone, your bookmarks and favorites and everything like that will be set. This is a new one within the last year. I mentioned before the State Farm driving. Well, State Farm also offered a smart home device. It's called Ting. It's about the size of a cigarette package. You just plug it into your wall, and it'll monitor your home voltage. And it'll tell you and tell me when the voltage is going up or down, if there's been an interruption, if there's been a brownout, if there's been a power spike. It keeps track of all of that. So it's a free device. Again, kind of interesting and provides me with a little information there. Okay, last one here is Wise cameras. I've talked before about those. They're low-cost cameras, and there's apps to be able to monitor and get the notifications from there. So that's what's going on there. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to minimize that, and let's go back here. Let's see if I can bring up the chat. We'll see if there's questions. We'll start at the beginning here. Okay, there's the handout. So if you don't have the handout, Jim did put it out there. Somebody asked, how do I know the cost? Paula asked, how do I know the cost? I only want the free version of Rosetta Stone, so I'm afraid to double click. The cost on almost all of these, most of them do have a free version. So when you download, you won't be charged unless you agree to it. So you do have to agree. Downloading usually does not automatically charge. So you have to set up an account to be able to use it there. Okay. That's because most of them do have the free version and stuff like that. But let's say it's Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom. You wouldn't automatically be charged there until you create an account and start utilizing the services out there.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks, Tom.
Okay. Okay, any other questions or comments people have? Oh, maybe I'll turn my video on here, but if somebody has a question or a comment, you can ask that. Let me see here. Oh, I guess I am here. Yeah.
Say, Tom, this is John Staffgrove speaking.
Sure.
Will your spreadsheet be available on the Computer Club website?
Yeah, I can put that out there. I guess I think in the past I have put it out there. The PDF, definitely that's what's out there right now, but I can put the spreadsheet, and if you want to do different sorting or things like that with it, you can do that.
Yes, I noticed there was a link in the chat thing, but when I tried to download it, it didn't work for me. So
Oh, yeah. Excuse me. When I sent out the email, or I had the PC Club send out the email this morning, the PDF file was not shared, and so if any of you tried to click on it, you probably saw a message that said you didn't have permission. I did end up sharing it. So anyone with the link or that clicks on the link should have no problem downloading it at this time.
I switched browsers to access this meeting, and now I don't see that particular thing in the chat. So that's why I asked if it was going to be on the Computer Club site.
Yeah, the way Teams works is when you connect into this meeting, you don't see any of the previous chats prior to when you joined. So you only see the chats from the time that you join. That's why Jim will usually wait a few minutes after the meeting starts to upload the file into the chat to make it available. But at this point, you should be able to also go out to the club website and you can download it or print it from there as the PDF file. And I'll make a note to put the spreadsheet out there along with the video. After the meeting, I'll take the video and also put the link out there. But that'll either be later today or within the next day. It'll be out there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions or comments?
I just attached it again.
Okay, Jim
That's another
did put it out in the
easier
chat.
way if you're still online right now.
And I apologize for earlier. I had uploaded it to the club website, but I hadn't shared it. So just like your private files that you may have on Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive, by default they're all private, and so they aren't. Nobody else can get at them, even if they have a link to it, and so that's the way that PDF file for the handout here is it was set to private, but I've since opened it up so anyone should be able to view it there, and that shouldn't be an issue anymore.
And Steve posted a question in the chat too.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Steve asks, any value for iPhone antivirus or anti-malware? Um, you, I'm somewhat conflicted on it. You'll see various articles that'll talk about putting it on, whether it's on the iPhone or the Android, to put an antivirus. The operating systems on the Android and the iPhone are about, what should I say, probably 100,000 times less complex than Microsoft Windows or the Mac OS. So being that these operating systems have less code and are less complex, they're less susceptible to hackers and viruses. And so the whether it's Android or the Apple operating system, if there is a vulnerability, the in what you'd have to have happen is these antivirus programs would have to change, and you'd have to get a new version of it. Well, if there's a known vulnerability, the Google, who makes the Android operating system, and Apple will put an emergency patch out to fix it almost immediately. So I'm not a real fan of antivirus or malware on the iPhone or the iPad or anything there. Uh, so on my devices, I do not, on the Android devices and my tablets and phones, I do not put any on there. On my laptop and my desktop, yes, I do use antivirus there because of the nature of the operating system. Okay. Any other questions or comments? The other reason I'll mention with the antivirus and malware and that is if you're not familiar, these are services that in order to protect your phone and stuff like that have to run in the background, and they have to run all the time, and they have to be constantly being updated. That means that it wears down your battery. So if you're concerned with how long your battery lasts or the performance of your phone, it degrades the performance of the phone. It degrades the how long your battery's going to last. So for the extra little tiny protection that you may possibly get out of having these apps or that on the phone, uh, I'm willing to take the risk there, and most of the world is willing to take the risk there because most of the hacking and most of the viruses wouldn't come in that way. They come in from somebody clicking on something in an email, clicking on something on a website, and most of the packages wouldn't catch that anyway. So again, it's that risk cost benefit that for the phones, I'm not a fan of antivirus and malware there.
Hey, Tom, this is John Stoffel
Sure.
again. One of the apps that we have on our phone and our computer and on the TV is the PBS app. And if you're a subscriber to Twin Cities Public Television, there's a lot of things that you can watch on the app, old Nova programs and things like that.
Yeah, that's a good point there, John. If you're a sustaining member of PBS, you have access to the entire PBS library, past and everything that they do there. And you can go on at any time and that. If you are not a sustaining member, you have access to a smaller subset, but that's pretty much the current stuff that they're showing on TV. So you can go out and you can watch a lot of the current things that they have and are showing, even if you aren't a sustaining member. Uh, Also, if you're not familiar or you're new to the phones or tablets, I mentioned about this streaming business. You can stream, and depending on the smart TV that you have, or if you have a Roku box or an Apple TV box or things like that, uh, I have an Apple TV box. I have an iPad. Anything that I have on the iPad with one swipe, I can now use my large screen TV and watch a movie, do a slideshow from my tablet. I can do all these things on my large screen TV there. So you have tremendous technology at your fingertips using these apps, using these devices, and using them together. Learn about these different devices that you have, experiment with them, and you can do some really nice things with it. Okay, other questions, comments? But take a look at the spreadsheet, and like I say, what I recommend to most people is print it off. And at any time, if you're looking for a particular utility on how to do something, or you'd never listened to podcasts before, now look out here on the list and find something that'll help you do it, or uh, you're looking for news or you're looking for different things. So there's, I don't do a lot of games. I don't play a lot of games, but I do list a few of them out here. Um, uh, but there's lots of other places to get reviews of the best games or the role-playing games or things like that. So take a look out there. Okay, any other questions? We've gone over a little bit, it looks like. If you do have any questions, let me know. Our next question and answer is going to be, what did I say, August 5th? August 5th coming up, so you can bring it there. And if you do have any recommendations as far as apps that you use or like, you can send them to me and we can put them in the e-bites or get them out that way. Otherwise, thanks for joining today, and we'll see you next time.